Shalom, this is Rabbi Sachs from the Chai Center. Apologize for a couple of minutes late. I had a funeral which ran late. So, we have been talking about Rosh Hashana. We've been talking about how to prepare oneself for this very, very special day. And part of preparing, in addition to spiritually and the last time we spoke, there's three avenues: teshuva, tefillah, tzedakah, right, which is repentance or return. Tefillah is prayer or connect. Tzedakah is charity or justice. Aside from those three that the sages have given us, there's also, we should prepare ourselves what to say, right? As we discussed, we need to think about our health, pray to God about our health. We have to pray to God about domestic harmony, about our children, about prosperity, our business, and so that and our community, and have compassion on those that need compassion. So we can't only pray for ourselves. It's very important that we pray for others as well. Today's discussion particularly is on food, right? So we don't go shopping on Rosh Hashanah. We prepare before. So there's a few customs. None of these are really etched in stone and is law. They're customs. What's etched in stone is you have to sit down to a meal. You make kiddush over wine. You wash and have the two challah breads. These type of things are more law. But as far as the special Rosh Hashanah cuisine and also the various customs are just customs. And for example, we'll start with this. If you log on to websites about Rosh Hashanah cuisine, it always talks about brisket. You don't have to serve brisket. You can serve chicken. You can serve fish. You can serve, if you're a tofu for, you don't have to serve brisket. I think the reason why they serve something like brisket, because it's a very special day, and therefore you serve very special food. But it's nothing more than that. Yeah, Jewish law says ideally you should have a repast and serve the best, etc., etc. But let's begin. So we make it kiddush over wine or grape juice, and then we have the challah. So here's where the first custom comes. The first custom is the challahs should be round. And most challahs that you'll buy around Rosh Hashanah are round. If you cannot locate round ones, or if you're making your own and you only have a tin that's regular, the oval-shaped challah, then so be it. So be it. So they're round. And the reason why they're round, the reason is because you begin the new year. You begin the new cycle of the year. We're taught in Kabbalah that a new energy is given on Rosh Hashanah that will last throughout the year. And then the new year, the new energy begins. So it's to show that the cycle begins, and we're in it for another year. It's also Happy Birthday World, so the round challah is shaped as a globe, etc. But other customs with regards to the challah is that it should have raisins in it, because raisins are sweet. Raisins come from grapes. Grapes are blessed, especially grapes are something that Israel is blessed with. When the Torah tells us it's one of the 7 fruits of Israel is grapes, and from grapes you make wine, and from grapes you have raisins, and it's sweet. Some people make on Rosh Hashanah, they don't only make it with raisins, they make it with chocolate chips, etc. But it's all custom. You can have a regular challah, egg or egg-free. It could be gluten-free. It could be a oat challah made with oat flour. Those who are allergic to wheat can have, spelt challah. And if it's round, that's great. If it's not round, that's great. But once again, in the store commercially, you'll find only, you're going to find, mainly, you're going to find the round challahs. So you have the challah, you take the challah, and you make the blessing, the hamotzi, you cut the challah, and you dip it into honey. Usually, throughout the year, like 50 weeks out of the 52 years, 50 weeks out of the 52 weeks, you dip your challah into salt. That's law. However, the custom is not to dip it into salt on Rosh Hashana through past Yom Kippur. Rather, you dip it into honey. Honey sweet. You want to ask for a sweet new year. Many people have the custom to have no salt on the table, to have no horseradish on the table, to have nothing sharp on the table throughout the high holiday season. So we dip it into honey. Honey is an interesting thing because honey comes from bees. Bees are both, they give us honey. They also can give us their sting. So it makes us think of God. God is the benevolent God. God, we ask God, God is compassionate, God is benevolent, God gives us life, God gives us air and oxygen and food and blesses our business, etc., etc. But just like you wouldn't mess with a bee, you wouldn't mess with God. God also has a sting. The sting is not necessarily punitive. The sting is more just like a bee. The bee is to protect itself. Right? If the bee feels attacked, rightly or wrongly, if the bee feels attacked, it's going to sting. If you come near its nest, it's gonna, and you come near its honey, it's gonna go crazy, right? Likewise, God is, it's not punitive, but God is there to teach us a lesson. Don't mess. And so that's another reason for having honey. What type of honey? Does it have to have lavender? Honey. Does it matter if it's honey imported from Israel, honey imported from India, honey from Long Island? It doesn't. Honey. And by the way, this is just a side note. Pure, 100% honey does not need an OU. Does not need a kosher label. If it's honey mixed with something else, and that's one thing. But if it's 100% honey, these are one of the things that do not need a kosher label. 100% pure honey is 100% pure honey. The minute you start mixing it with something else, that's a different story. Honey is obviously, if you have a baby that's under a year old, don't give it honey because it's not medically sound to give a baby honey. Do you have to buy honey from specifically Long Island? You can buy from anywhere. So you dip it in honey. Then on the first night, there's the custom to dip apple into honey before you begin the meal. Now, apple is sweet. Apple was also considered the food of the people. It is so common. So we ask God, please, at the bare minimum, make sure we have the bare minimum. And we take an apple and we dip it in the honey and we say, may be God's will, that we should have a sweet new year. Now, in the olden times, what people used to do was they used to actually write on the apple or carve into the apple a prayer and then eat it. So here we just slice the apple and we dip it into the honey. But this is an age-old custom of using an apple. By the way, it's interesting to note that when you cut an apple in half and you cut it not this way, but rather you cut it horizontally, you'll see that it's shaped like a star, to show that deep within each of us, there is something very special. There's a star, there's a soul. But that's not necessarily the reason why we do it. Because there's a star, the reason is because that's what we've always done, because it was a very common, easy to get fruit. And then we begin the meal. Many people have the custom is that we serve, right at the beginning, we serve the head of a fish. So we're talking about, whether it's say mackerel or St. Peter's fish or a whitefish or whatever it may be, that you place it on the table, and you take a little bit of fish and you say, "May be your will, dear God, that this year we should be leaders and we should be the head and not behind, not followers. May we not be treated as commonplace. May we be given the respect that we deserve. May we set policy, not react to policy. May we lead, and may we not follow." And then you begin your meal. You begin your meal, many people have their first course of fish and salads, and the second course of soup, and the third course of their meal, their chicken or their brisket or their tofu or their and you eat a joyous meal. There are different customs. Some people that they try to offer various symbolic fruits during the meal. The most famous of which is tzimmus. Tzimmus is sweet, right? So once again, the sweet new year. But tzimmus is also in Hebrew, the word for carrot is gezer, comes from the word decree. God, may we consume any bad decrees, and you eat the carrots. It's also, carrots in Yiddish is meren. Meren means more. May we have more credits and merits. May we have more mitzvahs under our belt. Right? So that's the custom. Many people serve sweet kugel that day because it's sweet. Many people serve carrot kugel instead of tzimmus or in addition to tzimmus for the same reasons. And it's carrot with raisins, so it's all sweet. There are other customs. Is that people have beets, because beets in Hebrew is selek, removal. May you remove nonsense from us. May you remove aggravation. May you remove different things that set us back. Some people have beans. Some people have, they serve, fennel and other for all these type of reasons is in Hebrew. It means something to some people. Sfardim have less customs than Ashkenazim have less customs than Sfardim. Sfardim have just an array of customs that they offer. Just an incredible amount of different things that they eat, and celery and scallions and white peas and chickpeas and small beans. Ashkenazim really don't have it. They have the fish head, they have the tzimmus, the carrots, they have the sweet kugel, etc. But they don't have all these beets and lettuce, beets and celery, and beets and fennel and fenugreek and different things like that. One thing it is brought down in the code of Jewish law is that we don't place nuts on the table. Many places, many times you place mixed nuts. We don't place mixed nuts on the table. And that's brought down in the code of Jewish law as a custom. And it gives the reason. One is that egos, which is nut, I think egos literally is walnut. But egos is nut, and egos has the same numerical value as chet, sin. So we don't have nuts. Another reason why we don't have nuts is that you're trying to pray to God. Nuts need a lot of water to counter its dryness. So therefore people say, I'm not going to eat nuts, or you shouldn't eat nuts, it's because I'm going to cough. And I don't want to cough and, sputter and splutter and I need a drink. So therefore you don't have nuts. But I will tell you don't have to go nuts, because there is another custom that people have, tegel, which is sweet nuts. So there you have the other side of the equation. So I say don't go nuts. It could be an Ashkenazi Sephardic thing. I'm not sure. So, but no nuts is very common, that we don't have raw nuts. We just don't serve. You want to serve cashews with your chicken. That's one thing, but raw nuts, because it makes you thirsty once again. That I have seen. That's alive and well. Now, the second day of Rosh Hashana, the second night, I should say, is after. Excuse me. That's my insomnia. After Kiddush, we give a new fruit. Because we've already made Kiddush the first day, and the second day we're saying Kiddush again, and we're saying Shechiyanu again, those blessings. So therefore we offer up a new fruit, and something special. And the new fruit, the definition of a new fruit is something you haven't eaten recently. And some people, for me that would be an apple, except I ate it the night before. But a new fruit. And so you'll find in the grocery store, you'll find all these weird fruits, star fruits, and a plum together with an apricot, and you're going to find all these weird fruits around this time of the year. The prevalent custom is to eat a pomegranate, because a pomegranate has many, many seeds. And essentially what you say is, dear God, may I have as many merits as there are in this pomegranate. And because it has so many little seeds, you say, may I plant many seeds in my life. Seeds of goodness, seeds of kindness, physical seeds with children. May I plant mitzvahs in others. May little seeds be implanted in me. And you ask God, may you have many, many merits. And that is the custom for a pomegranate. Some people do offer the fish head the second night. Some people don't offer the fish head the second night. Once again, it's all based on custom. And I'm sure there's individual customs that you have, that you were brought up with your family, which is probably fascinating. I know the Persians have their own set of customs, the Persian Jews. Regardless of what your custom is, the bottom line is you have to have a joyous meal. And you have to have a meal that's fit for a king. You're not going to eat a meal which is the bare minimum to say, I'm worried about my judgment, I don't have an appetite. No, you eat, and you eat hearty, you eat like a king. You eat with confidence and happiness, with melodies around the table, regardless of what you serve. Right? The bottom line is you act as if. Act happy. Act joyous. Act confident. Act positive. And may God give us all the reasons to be so. God bless.